Why does one ascend the mountain? My mother confronted me with a question similar to this not long after I completed a very strenuous hike, and what ended up being a dangerous hike. The reason one goes through the strains and dangers of ascending a mountain is to find out what the mountain can teach you about yourself. I'm Joe Bussiere. I'm going to take a moment and commemorate the storm on top of the mountain and how persistence helped me gain a deeper understanding of what the human body is capable of. First off, I need to describe the event leading up to the situation I found myself in. Early on this past summer, I decided I wanted to do a hike I had read about called the Presidential Traverse. Now, I do a lot of hiking, but this is going to be a major stepping stone for me. I was attempting to gauge my physical capabilities. You see, the Presidential Traverse is a hike that hits all the major peaks in the presidential range of the White Mountains. It's 30 miles long and 9 peaks with about 9,500 feet of elevation gain. In a mountain range where 3 jet streams come together to create some of the most extreme weather in the world. Now, to train for this, I train 6 hours a day, all summer long, to condition my body to be able to do what is normally done in 2 days into one long day. On the day of the hike, I hit the trailhead by myself at 4 in the morning with 50-pound rucksack on my back, knowing the strong chance of a thunderstorm, which becomes important later. I had pre-planned some bailout points along the trail in case things got a little hairy. I hiked non-stop all day, trying to stay ahead of my time schedule. And at the very end of my hike, 4 miles from the end, on the second to last peak, that's thunderstorm rolled in. It came in so fast, I didn't even have time to get my rain jacket out of my rucksack before I was completely drenched. Lightning was going on all around me as I was literally inside the storm cloud. And being on top of a mountain above tree line, I was kind of the tallest thing around, which can make for a somewhat dangerous situation. And this is where I had to make the decision to either bail out down a side trail or risk it and continue on along the traverse. I chose to ignore the storm and continue on. Now that you kind of have a grasp of the situation I found myself in, I can begin to explain the values I gained because of my decision. Now, the only way I was able to complete this hike was by being persistent. Persistence was the key to it all. All summer, throughout all of my training, throughout all my runs, my swims, my hikes, the way I ate, putting the good stuff into my body to fuel my training sessions, and working in a factory to fund this goal of mine, all required persistence. When I had found out that the day of my hike, the day I planned to hike, could have possible thunderstorms, I chose to carry on regardless. When I was worn down by 8 hours of constant hiking and my back was rubbed raw from a pack, to only then realize I was only halfway there, persistence is what kept me going. When I found myself in the middle of a storm with lightning all around, hours from my goal, persistence is what helped me place one foot in front of the other until I had reached my goal and finished the hike. This persistence gave me an appreciation for what the human body is capable of doing when enough time and energy is spent towards a goal. And I carry this value with me down into the valley below and apply it to all aspects of my life and become a better and more resilient person because of it. And so, I hope you can appreciate the situation of a storm on top of a mountain and gain an understanding of the values of persistence that come from weathering that storm. I also hope that you can take this value and apply it to help conquer your own personal mountain, to find what it can teach you about yourself. And maybe then you can truly understand why I ascended the mountain.